morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I hope it's a good one for you. Uh, I am finally back from my friend's wedding, and let me tell you, I have had such a wonderful time. But it's been a week of detox, so I know nothing about football now. Everything that I know about football will come from Chang over here, who clearly knows everything. He knows everything. It's true, people. He knows everything. So Chang, the person who knows everything, knows everything. Um, how you doing? How's the international break treating you?
Well, there are actually mixed news and mixed results really over the international break as far as it concerns Spurs players. But I'm going to start off from the very top. When I say the very top, I mean from our club captain Son Heung-min. He has been scoring. Believe it or not, Son Heung-min has scored something like two international goals in two friendly fixtures for South Korea. One of them being against Thailand, uh, our neighbors, the neighbors from Malaysia, and apart from him, I believe Kulusevski also managed to notch an assist for Sweden in their 1-0 victory. I believe it was yesterday on Sunday. So that's good to see Kulusevski getting on the assist. In other news, I believe both Giovanni Lo Celso and also Romero, both of them scored for Argentina. I can't remember who it was, but I did post that scoreline over on our Talk and Ball community page. And this morning, or rather very early this morning, Argentina played Peru. Was it no Costa Rica? Argentina played Costa Rica about 8 hours ago, and they came away with a 3-1 victory. Good to see Romero on the starting 11. He got a good win for Argentina over Costa Rica. And Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who would have guessed, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg has actually scored for Denmark as well in their final international game over the weekend. In the first half, I believe it was, he did score a goal for Denmark. And I think that's pretty much. Oh no, there's one more very very important bit of international action for us, which was James Madison. I'm sure you'll be happy to know, Miss Ash, that James Madison has managed to pick up an assist for England when England drew 2-2 against Belgium. And it was James Madison's assist for Jude Bellingham that enabled England to come away with a very deserved 2-2 draw, a credible 2-2 draw against Belgium, nonetheless. And I would say that for all these players who were either getting assists or scoring for their national teams, it's good for them. It's good to see them, contributing not only for Tottenham Hotspur, but for their own national teams as well. But there is some other rather sad news for the Welsh Spurs contingent, because Wales were knocked out, or rather, should I say, Wales failed to qualify for the Euros in their playoff match when they lost on penalties after extra time. So commiserations to the Spurs Welsh contingent for not securing their place in this coming this coming summer's Euros that's going to be held in Germany. But beyond that, it's good also to see Ben Davies picking up his UEFA coaching license. I believe it's something like a category A. That should be something like under 18s. So Ben Davies has got his coaching badge, and he will be able to coach under 18s, whether it's for Spurs or any other club, or even the Welsh national team. That remains to be seen. But congratulations, Mr. Benjamin Davies. All that hard work and valiant effort has paid off. He's finally got his coaching badge, and I wish him all the very best in his coaching career once his playing days are over.
Yeah, yeah. Did I not say, everyone, that this man knows all? That was a wonderful update. Everybody who scored, everybody who got coaching badges, everybody who got selected. Everything in that one little bit. That, in fact, we should just clip that bit and put it up and be like Spurs in international news. Um, so t- talking about international news, here's somebody supporting us from the other side of the world. Ellie, how are you doing? Saying first, one heard to here to support you, lovely people. Ashin Chang, to the very best of a kind. I think you're awesome in your own right. And she's reminding everybody to be good and smash the like. Big time, people. Come on, put the thumb. Okay, yeah, don't put the thumb down on it, because that could be confusing. Just the thumbs up button. Everyone, just the thumbs up button. That's the like button. Like and share to your friends, share to your enemies, share to everybody you love and love everybody you hate. Hopefully one of them might tune in. And then we have Eugene here, the other half of Persuasion TV, saying hi everyone, big up, hashtag TV out. Then we have James, who I heard has opened his own Tottenham channel. So, James, congratulations on that. And then we have Audio Artisan here saying, morning peeps, Dane Scarlett got a hat trick. Uh, well done, Dane Scarlett. And then we have James saying Ben Davies scored his penalty at least. Yeah, good on Ben Davies. He's kind of like that steady Eddie. He always does what the task he's given to do. I love that about Ben Davies, and I love that he's getting his coaching badges in. I would like to see him at Spurs, coaching the under 18s. He's just like this wonderful, no frills guy who does exactly as the team wants. He's a team player. He's not really flashy. He doesn't really like. I think he's a perfect man for coach, and I do really believe this, that the best players don't always make the best coaches. I think that the players that make the best coaches are the players that have to improve constantly because they're not good enough. And then we have Lee Smithy Smith here saying, big up, you lovelies. Lee Smithy Smith changing languages, I see. Um, and then we have Ben Kaufman saying, I am Donna Cullen. Well, Ben, good to know that. I mean, there are operations that can do that for you, Ben. So you might want to consider it. And then Kuva saying, big up Ash Chang and all in the chat. Uh, and he's saying, no, I am Donna Cullen. Now, if this is a new reference that I do not understand, I have been away for a week at a wedding in the middle of nowhere with no internet. So, y'all, if there is something I have missed in the time I have been away, please do enlighten me. But if not, I'm afraid that that only one person in the world can be Donna Cullen. But yeah, there are operations that can help you with that. So Ben Kuva, you might want to consider it. Um, so let's get talking. Before we talk about the game, I kind of wanted to bring this up. Um, um, so the Spurs hotel is being made, and it's there's been a lot of conversation about it, and some of it's good, some of it is bad. And the way I understand it, this hotel is primarily being made for fans like you and I, right, Chang? It's being made for like international fans to come to London and to get the whole stadium experience, including living in a hotel near the stadium, and that whole sort of like, that's the spiel, right? That's the marketing spiel. Or like it's for targeted people who are like far from London and want to attend a midweek game. They can crash there at the hotel and then go back home the next day. uh what do you feel about it? How do you feel about this hotel?
For me, as a foreign Spurs fan, having a hotel or rather a place to lodge on match days or rather just a day or two before match days would be ideal, seeing as most of us foreign fans who have never been over to London, let alone N17, we have no idea, we have no clue uh, when it comes to the lay of the land and how to get in and around the place. So having a hotel right next to the Spurs stadium would be the best possible thing us Spurs fans could have wished for. Of course, I'm pretty sure that being a Spurs fan and being the hotel situated being so close to the stadium, it's gonna be kind of pricey. It's not gonna come cheap, put it this way. Having a hotel right next to a stadium. So I have yet to see what the prices are when it comes to accommodation over there. I can only imagine that it's going to be maybe a lot more expensive, maybe than maybe a motel or some other kind of a homestay in and around the area. But for those who can afford it, yes, I can definitely see the lure in having a five-star accommodation that close to the stadium. If it's within walking distance, that would be the perfect place for any Spurs foreign fan to hold up over the course of a match day weekend, where it's definitely going to be very festive. It's going to be a big attraction for bringing in tourists as well, who are uh, thinking of finding a place to stay in and around London. And I can only say good things about how this hotel is going to also bring in jobs and career opportunities as well to the local community, especially those who are connected to the Northumberland community project as a whole over there in N17. So yeah, this hotel that is scheduled to be constructed at N17 just beside the stadium, it's only going to be beneficial to Tottenham Hotspur and the club as a whole in the long run.
Yeah, I do hope that. I have my reservations, and I will tell you what they are after I talk about some of the things in the chat here. Ben saying, Ash, you're going to love the stream we did on Monday. I will make sure I catch that, and everyone else catches that as well who hasn't yet. So everyone head to the coffee company and catch that. And then we have Lee Smithy Smith saying, sorry, Ash. Bonjour, mademoiselle, and bonjour, monsieur Cheng. So Lee Smithy Smith proving that he's secretly a fancy Oxford boy. And then we have Jordan Hyman here saying, hey, Trang. Um, hey, don't I get a hey? No, Ash? Hey, Ash? No? And then Ben saying, going to need 4 mortgages to stay in that hotel. Yeah, I see that. I see that happening. It's going to be one of those ones for the prawn brigade. And then Ku was saying, Big Ange said he wanted to lay the foundations for success. Levy starts building a hotel. Oh, well, it'll help bring us some clean sheets. Yeah, I mean, at 4K a night, that or like, yeah, sheets clean, I don't know, but sheets for sure, they might start out clean, but all of that, Ben saying minimum 4K a night. And then Ben saying the best place to stay is the M Hotel in Shoreditch. Nice area, lovely hotel, great prices, and loads of restaurants and tourist spots. Okay, so this is my problem, right? This is something I have seen time and again, and I kind of want to. I'm going on a little bit of a rant here. I've had a lot of friends from India book tickets to go see a Spurs game, and there are these. There's one or two videos out there about what are the places to eat around Spurs Stadium or to do a tour of Spurs Stadium. But and there are a bunch of videos of foreign fans, and they'd be like, "Oh, we stayed here, we did that." But there is not a single video, like there's hardly a single video of a local fan or somebody who knows London being like, okay, this is, if you're on a budget, this is where you can stay, this is how you reach the stadium. If the game is an early kickoff or a late kickoff, what is the best way to go about it, how to do it, how to plan your trip, where, like, what works, what doesn't work, where to eat. There is no video, there is no guideline. You'd have to sort of like get it from the Spurs website in bits, and you'd have to get it from like different sort of how to's and sort of bring it together. But there's not a single place on YouTube where you can find that in one place, and like that's how they get you, right? You pay the 4K a night simply because you can't, like, if you're busy and you're working and all of that, you can't muck around with oh my god, where do I find the hotel, which is the best hotel, which is the area, how far is it from the stadium, do I have to get a cab, can I go by the tube, what is the place to like take the tube from? Instead of figuring all of that complicated stuff out, you just go, hey, let me just stay in the hotel that Spurs is built for Spurs fans. Like that's what often happens. So if there were actually like really good how to videos online where people could find this information, then people wouldn't have to spend 4K a night or whatever on the Spurs hotel, they wouldn't get fleeced by Levy or whatever the hell. Because, if you're paying 4K a night, you're paying more to stay in the hotel than you are to actually reach London all the way from the other side of the world. So I, I would say that I hope that Levy makes the hotel someplace that's affordable instead of a hotel that's just for the prawn brigade. If he is making a hotel there and all of that. We have with us a wonderful guest who also redirected. Thank you so much, Mia. Big up to you. I love the fan show. Everyone, please go check out Spurs Between the Lines. Um, and then Rob Belcher is here saying, good morning, all of you lovely people. Good morning to you, Rob. And Ben saying, I could do the video, but I would need a lot of help editing. Yeah. Someone get this man an editor. Let's get this going because I feel like that's a video that would get a huge number of views because there's so many fans from the US, from India, from Southeast Asia, from Australia. They're all coming to watch the game, and they're all so confused about where to stay, how to get to the stadium, how not to get to the stadium, all of that. So yeah, I really hope that somebody does do that with Ben. So everyone, get on that task. Get this man an editor. And then Chang's here saying thank you to Mia and putting in Spurs Between the Lines link. So everyone, please go there and subscribe. All of those good things, like the morning show as well, if you're able to. So that's the hotel. That's how I feel about the hotel. I'm not against it, okay? I feel like it has to serve a purpose for the real fans while not pricing out the local fans. So if it's able to maintain that balance, that's great. But if it's going to be like this fancy project that's just focusing on gentrification, then I don't want it. And then we have Colin Blackshaw saying, good morning, everyone. And then Ben saying, like the stream, everyone. Yes, all of those good things. Good morning to you, Colin. And like Ben says, like the stream. Uh, Unlike the hotel, it's free. So we should go on and like that stream. Um, so the next thing I kind of wanted to talk to you about, Chang, is since I know nothing about international football now, I'm just going to move on to the Luton. Okay, Chang, you're on mute. Chang? Chang? Testing, testing, one, two, three. Earth to Chang. Chang, do you copy? No? Chang, can you hear us? Um, okay, so I have lost.
Apologies for that. Apologies for that. I just had a work call, but it's okay. I managed to get over that. It was only for a few seconds earlier, so I really, really apologize for that minor disturbance, but it's over now. Was there something you wanted to ask me, Miss Ash?
Um, so I kind of wanted to like move on from the international break because I feel like it's been going on forever, and all
All
I
right.
did in that time was attend a wedding and watch Dune 2.
Okay.
So the what I'd like to focus on is now the Luton game, and the first thing I wanna talk about is this, which is Mickey van der Ven. You think uh it's gonna be a problem? Do you think we can play without him? Do you think he'll be fit enough to play? Where do you stand on the on Mickey van der Ven?
For me, very honestly, when it comes to Mickey Van der Ven and his fitness, or rather his suitability, his how well he will be able to get back into the squad if and when he returns from injury. This is one of those cases, just like the Benson Core return from injury and the Madison return from injury. I wouldn't want to rush Mickey Van der Ven back into the squad just for the sake of having a fully healthy squad on paper, because we've seen this season alone very bad examples almost, when it comes to players who are returning from lengthy spells on the sidelines. Benson Kur and James Madison being two of these examples. On paper, on paper it looks all fine and well when you have players the likes of Pedro Porro returning from injury, as well as Udogi and Madison and Bentancur. But behind the scenes, especially when it comes to the very, very ambiguous and questionable Spurs medical stuff, I really wouldn't want to risk rushing Van der Ven into the fold just yet if he's not fully fit. You never know just how big of an extent his hamstring pull is, and I felt that Dragushin, for the most part, did all right against Fulham on his first full debut. So I would, uh, I would urge, or rather, I would exercise caution when it comes to deciding over Mickey Van der Ven's fitness, and if and when he does uh, be deemed fully fit to start another game for Spurs, that would be awesome, of course, because we all know that we have very, very, very important games coming up. And with that in mind, I would actually reserve Mickey Van der Ven for those crunch clashes that we are very aware is going to make or break our season under Big Ange in the last 10 games we have to go. So, yeah, that medical team, Mr. Benjamin Kaufman put it here very, very plainly for all to see. That medical team just needs to be revamped from head to toe, because I really do not know what is going on when it comes to what we are doing behind the scenes with our our walking wounded. When you see the likes of Benson Core coming out saying that he's got a broken toe, he's been playing on with a dislocated or a broken toe, which is just very sad and disappointing news on his behalf and also on our medical team's behalf. So Mickey Van der Ven, please, Big Ange, please, for the love of God, do not rush him back just for the sake of having a fully fit squad on paper, because I feel that Radu Jarkushin can still play a vital part for us from between now and the end of the season. And if Van der Ven is fully fit, then of course I would welcome him back with our arms wide open, because we saw it ourselves actually against Fulham at Craven Cottage, what a big miss he is when the likes of Romero and Porro and Udogi push so high up, and that leaves massive gaps, massive holes at the back, which we know Mickey Van der Ven is more than able to mop up behind him. But Dragushin might not be fully in sync with the rest of the team. So, you know, be careful with getting players back too soon from injury, is what I've got to say, Miss Ash.
Yeah, I'm going to say something really, really, really controversial, and I'm really hoping that everybody doesn't curse me out. Um, I think that, I mean, for Spurs, it's amazing that we have Mickey Van der Ven, but I think personally that it's possible that if he continues to play for Spurs, Mickey Van der Ven will ruin his career. And the reason I say that, and I'm saying it is controversial, but the reason I say that is that we use him a little bit like a cheat code, where it's like anybody, if they get past that final line, we are so confident that Mickey Van der Ven, irrespective of the time in the game, whether his legs are warmed up or not, whether he has an hamstring issue or not, or he was just come back for injury or not, we expect him to catch up with the guy, which he invariably does. He is like playing with a cheat code. We can all confidently go forward because we know that Mickey Van der Ven can catch up to the fastest defenders in the league because he's the fastest player in the league. And unfortunately, what happens with that, and we have seen this time and time and time again throughout this season, in the Chelsea game when he was trying to catch up, in the without warming up enough because of the VAR stoppages, and in some of the previous games as well, that in the end, sometimes with that sort of strain, his hamstring gives out. And he's already had two or three hamstring injuries now in his career. It, uh, I think one before he joined Spurs as well. Uh, so, uh, so in my opinion, if you really, really, really want to extend your career, you wouldn't play for a team that always uses you as a cheat code. Our over reliance on Vicky van der Ven is a serious problem. I do believe in Ange, and I believe that Ange will find a way to rectify this. But at this point, while we're learning to play Ange ball, the amount of pressure, and we've shown this because we let Fulham score 3 goals past us without Vicky van der Ven, is that the amount of goals we score, as in we concede because we don't have Mickey van der Ven in our team, makes it almost impossible for Mickey van der Ven to stay healthy because of our over reliance on him. So, as a Spurs fan, I love him. But I would say that for his personal development, it actually might make sense for him to go somewhere else. Um, yeah, everyone, don't kill me. And then Ben saying if he's fit, we have to give him 20 minutes to warm up his legs. Absolutely. And got you guys in Yu-Gi-Oh on. Tis a good morning. Yeah, my God, Ben. I seriously need to do a Yu-Gi-Oh like marathon myself. I just like anything anything but football I've been doing for the last week, and it's been holding me in good stead. And then Rakesh is saying I video called Donna Cullen, but she turned okay, yes, that. So then, everyone, it's not good to assume because assuming makes an ass out of us. And then Chang's put up the coffee company's link. Everyone, uh, make sure you do subscribe to the coffee company. It is lots of fun. Um, so and then Rakesh is also saying once a hamstring injury occurs, it keeps reoccurring no matter what. Yeah, this is absolutely true. We need to find ways to strengthen the muscle and the ligaments and in that area so that it sort of provides support to him, and he needs to learn how to not rely on his speed so much and sort of find other facets to his game so that it doesn't reoccur too often, or if it does reoccur, it's for shorter stints, because otherwise, if he becomes a truly injury prone player, it really affects his value as a young player. Um, Moving on from Mickey van der Ven, we have another player who's kind of coming back, and who we at least on this show adore for his personality, but sometimes have disagreements over his playing acumen. And this, of course, is the pigeon. Our pigeon, beloved pigeon, returns to White Hart Lane, to the Hotspur Stadium. And so, what do you think? What do you think of this wonderful news that we have Richarlison returning? Do you think he comes back in? Do you think he comes back in? Do you think you put him on the bench? Where do you see this?
Okay, sorry about that. I got my finger stuck on the unmute button, but it's all good now. I did say this an hour earlier over on Mia's channel, the Members Calling Show at Spurs Between the Lines, in which I would love to have Richarlison back in the starting lineup as our number 9, and maybe we shift Son Heung-min back to the left wing, where he can be very, very lethal and effective when it comes to beating his man, taking on his player, and also delivering crosses for the likes of Richarlison or even a Timo Werner and Brendan Johnson to just slot those crosses into the back of the net. For me, Richarlison has to start this game at home against Luton because there is no better game or a platform with which for him to then springboard his final 10 games from between now and the end of the season for us, because we know that if and when given a chance, Richarlison can score for us. We've seen it this season, although I still don't think he is our long-term solution when it comes to filling in that number 9 role. I still feel that there is a player in Richarlison. There's a very good reason why Daniel Levy and ENIC were more than willing to stump out the 60 million pounds for him or something along those lines when Conte had his first full season. So for me, there is no better chance right now than the present for Richarlison to prove his worth, to finally justify that 60 million pound transfer fee that we paid Everton for him. And yeah, like I said, Luton at home. Of course, I'm not going to underestimate Luton. I'm not going to take them for granted. I sure as hell am not going to, underestimate their credibility when it comes to taking on the big boys in the Premier League, be it home or away. I still fancy us to score a goal or two. And yeah, this would be a very good game for Richarlison to pick up from where he left off to go on another goal scoring streak because we need him in hot scoring form when the big crunch ties come along. We still have Arsenal at home. We have Manchester City at home as well as Liverpool and Chelsea away. And we are really going to need all the firepower we can muster for those games. So why not start Richarlison this coming weekend against Luton and see how we fares against them?
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I'll go through the comments first. Ash being controversial, I don't buy that. Now you'd be surprised, Rob. And Mia saying proo proo. And oh wait, this is I thought this was Donna. Oh my god, in the morning show, Chris, I saw this and I thought it was somebody trolling you or like Donna trolling you or something. I didn't realize you were stuck as Donna, the number one Agambar. Well, that's hilarious. Serves you right also. And then Lee Smithy says, think damn right, Chang. So Lee Smithy Smith clearly agrees. And he's also having himself a very good time with all this battery charging that he's doing. So something is afoot in Oxford. Um, so Chang, you there? Uh, I have to say,
Yes, I'm still here.
with Richarlison, I tend to agree with you more than disagree because at the end of the day, yes, Richarlison may not be as fast as Timo Werner or Johnson, uh, but like when it and he doesn't always convert his shots. But
Mm,
if I had to choose somebody of this three that I would have in the penalty box taking the shot between Johnson, Werner, and Richarlison, I would choose Richarlison. And I think
mm,
that speaks to his experience. It speaks to his,
mm,
uh, like sort of like Premier League proven um, game time that he's had for so long. So he knows how to play under pressure. So I really believe that Richarlison, uh, as much as I think he's not the answer, I agree with you there. I do believe that at this point of time, at least, he is one of our better forwards. So I would say play him. If not play him, at least start him from the bench and um, just you saying, I will sell both Richie and Werner. Richie will have a R9 career at Serie A. He's tailor made for a Serie A side. Yeah, I actually agree with that, Jishnu. I think that in the summer, we have to go in and possibly get somebody better than the forwards we currently have. I truly believe that we need, I'm not saying that we need a marquee signing as our transfer strategy in general, but I do believe that a marquee signing in a forward position, somebody who's just a genuine goal scorer who will always put the ball in the back of the net, I feel like that's something that we really lack. Obviously, we can't replace Harry Kane, but it's just we could get somebody who's better than what we currently have, except for Sunny, of course. Um, and we have Leo who's in the house saying, hi, homies. Hi, Leo.
Hi,
Yeah,
Leo. Hi, Leo.
yeah. Leo, uh, 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 saying hi to you is so important that Chang disappeared while doing it. And then Jishnu saying Lautaro, Lukaku, Richie, and Siri. Oh, that would be fire. Um, yeah, it would be. It really would be. Syria is starting to do better. They were going through financial difficulties for some time, but I do think that life is getting better for those who watch the Syria. Um, so yeah, that covers our Richie update for the day. Let's talk about just the Luton game in general. How do you feel about it? You nervous about it? You excited? Are you still have nerves from the Fulham game? Is it just something that because in my head I've forgotten about it. I went on a football detox. I came back and like my memory is completely erased. It didn't happen at all. And we went from beating Villa to now playing Luton. There was no Fulham game. Bye bye, everyone. What's it been like for you?
For me, right now, it's a bit of butterflies in the stomach with regards to us having to face Luton at the Tottenham Hotspur this coming weekend. For the players, I hope they are up for it because we have to treat every single last one of our remaining league games this season as though they were cup finals. And I cannot stress enough just how important of a final push in our last 10 games is going to be for not only the players but for the club and Big Ange as well. Uh, I would love nothing more than to get Champions League qualification at this point. It's still very much in our hands. We just have to match Aston Villa game for game. Whatever they do, we have to either equal or better their result because it's still mathematically in our hands. We just need to work on that goal difference. So this Luton game is one of those must-win games. Of course, if you're to look at the current league form and also the league positions, you would actually fancy us to get all 3 points. But we know that games aren't played on paper. We saw that with our very own eyes during the watch along that both you and me did together in that very, very feisty and shall we say very heated final half an hour of that watch along, which I know both of us just want to get out of our memories, just completely forget about that. That's how I'm. That's why I'm having these butterflies in the stomach when it comes to the prospect of facing Luton Town at N17 this weekend. But I'm expecting the team to put up a big performance. I want them to put up a very convincing. It might not be the best performance they put up together, but after that disappointment at Craven Cottage, the lads have no other choice but to put things to right. They have to put in a better or a more credible effort because this is one of those must-win games, especially since it's a home game as well. We have to follow up with that 1-0 away win at Luton when we had 10 men without Bissouma with an even more convincing victory this time around at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Just so we can keep up with Aston Villa in that chase for that final top four Champions League qualification. Uh, yeah, it's one of those games where big players have to step up big time. Madison got an assist for that late equalizer against Belgium, and I would love to see him at least get an assist or even a goal if it suits him this coming weekend. And Son Heung-min, I did mention earlier, he had two international goals in two international games for South Korea. I would also love to see him on the score sheet. And if Richarlison does start, yeah, I'm also hoping for big things from Richarlison. If and when he does take part in this match, I would see this as the one of the better opportunities for him to go on another goal scoring streak. But the problem with goal scoring streaks is that you need that first step, you need that first goal to start a streak. To begin with, so this is a good opportunity for him if he is given the opportunity to start this match. For the rest of the team, especially our midfield, this is where it gets very interesting, Miss Ash, our midfield tree. We saw just how ineffective that midfield trio was away at Craven Cottage against Fulham, Madison, Pepe Matassar, and Bissouma. And I can see either one of Pepe Matassar or Bissouma being dropped for maybe an Oliver Skip or Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, provided Bentancur is still nursing a broken or a dislocated toe. One of them has simply got to start. I would actually go for Bentancur to deputize in place of. I'll go for Højbjerg. Sorry, I'll go for Højbjerg to deputize in place of Bentancur, and maybe Pepper Matassar can keep his spot in the starting 11, provided he does put in a shift. Because let's not fool ourselves here. He was absolutely nowhere to be seen against Fulham. So big things are going to be expected from him. But we have to remember that he's still young. He's still learning his trade under Big Ange and the Ange ball system that Big Ange requires our players to play. So yeah, this is a good opportunity for Pepe Matassar and also for the rest of the squad to bounce back and prove and show us all what they are really all about.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. It's comeback time, everyone. And we have Bobby K in the house saying, "Good morning, Ash Chang," and everyone in the chat. Uh, Yes, Bobby K, also one of those fans waiting on a Spurs comeback against Luton. And then Leo's here saying, "Good morning, 5:30 a.m. here, but it's BB Day." Yes, everyone should remember that a view from Asia Day is always also a Brewing Bollocks Day. So remember to set aside some time later on in the day to go and catch up with Ben and Bobby and Kuva on the coffee company because it's a BB day. And everyone's saying hi to Bobby. And then Rob Belcher saying, "Believe me, Luton won't be easy, but I still think we'll have too much for them 3-1." Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I tend to agree with Rob and Chris, who's currently Donna, the number one Agambar, saying, "I agree, Chang, as well." Uh, and Ben's also saying, if you think Monday's stream was utterly bonkers, it's going to be today's going to be madder. So yes, Ben making these promises that he now has to keep. So look forward to that. And then Chang's also linked Three Spurs Boys link in the chat. So everyone, please go to Three Spurs Boys if you want to catch more of Bobby and Kuba and everyone else that they constantly invite, and the little cuties that are Bobby K's children. Just adorable. So if you want a little bit more of that, then Three Spurs Boys is where you find them. So everyone, make sure you do subscribe to their videos as well. Um, Coming back to the Luton game, I agree with Rob. I think it was who was saying that Luton won't be easy. Yeah, if it was home at Luton, I would be really scared about this game. But just because it's away for Luton, I would say that I think that we'd have more for them than they could handle. But I felt that way about Fulham also. So what do I know? Uh, but you know what? I have decided that I'm not going to be one of those people who's just like, "Oh my God, it's going to be a really tough game. So it might be a draw or we might lose the game. So 1-0." I'm kind of going to go the other way around. I've decided that in life I'm not losing anything by predicting a giant scoreline. Just for like games like this where I have no clue what Spurs will come out, I have a feeling they'll be raring to go. So I think it's gonna be a 3-0. Like I really do. I believe it. Like I'm not going crazy here. I'm not. I wish I had Kuva's system. Then I could just use jersey numbers, but I don't. I don't have a scientific system in place. I have to think of one. So I'm just gonna go 3-0 and hope for the best. You don't know which dot Spurs will come out, but I really, really hope it's the Spurs that beat Luton in the first game. If Ben saying if Tottenham lose on Mickey's first ever football game, I am going ballistic. Mickey's first ever football game. That is amazing. I really, really hope that it's a wonderful experience for her. My first ever football game, or actually my only Spurs football game. We did win the match 1-0. It was kind of boring, but we won. So but like the crowd makes it interesting always. What about you, Chang? Your first football game? Did you win? Did you lose? Did you draw? What happened?
Well, if I remember the first ever Spurs match which I watched, which was also the only Spurs match which I did watch live in a stadium, was the friendly between the Spurs senior team and the Malaysian national team back in 2015. If memory serves me right, just before Sun Heung-min signed. And Spurs won that game, 2-1. It was a memorable occasion for me, being able to see Spurs live in the flesh for the very first time. And uh, Harry Kane was on the score sheet as well, as I believe it was Nasser Chadli who got the other goal. And yeah, it was a first game to remember for me. And other than that, apart from that, I don't think I've actually ever seen any other football match live from a stadium. To be very honest with you, because I don't really follow the local Malaysian clubs. It's quite a very underwhelming and underdeveloped league, if you ask me. The Malaysian league, and quite unlike the Indian Super League that you have going on over in India, or even the Korean Super League that's going on in Korea. and most other countries as well. So yeah, that was the only time I actually went to a proper outdoor stadium, or rather indoor stadium, to watch a football game. And yeah, I'm very happy that it was a Spurs game. It may be the first and only one, but I am looking forward to many more Spurs games in the future, if and when I do ever make it over to N17 in the future.
Um, yeah, many more matches for us live, hopefully, Chang. And Jishnu, our resident scout, is saying Poro Romero in Real Madrid's radar. Well, I kind of have a little bit of faith in Levy in this thing, that he manages to keep the players he really wants to keep. Like, we've been a feeder club for really, really long with Bale and Modric and all of that. But in the recent past, there are lots of players that we've managed to keep for much longer than we thought we'd keep them. So we've kept Kane, we kept Sonny. We've kept some really big players. When I didn't think we could. We managed to keep Ericsson for way longer than we thought we would. Um, uh, Eventually he went, of course, but he left very unhappy as well. But he stayed for at least a season longer than I thought he would. And then Jishnu saying, I'm going to convince Rico Lewis to join Spurs. He isn't getting enough minutes at City. Yeah, everyone, let's just DM him until he breaks, is what I was going to say. But then I realized that sounds terrible. And then
But
trading. Yeah, you were
Sorry,
saying?
Miss Ash, very, very sorry. I just need to add something very quickly to what you said about trying to bring Rico Lewis from Manchester City. If there is actually one player and one player only, which if we could get him for a reasonable price from Manchester City, that one player which I would absolutely love to have from Manchester City is actually not Nico Lewis, but Jack Grealish, who seems to have fallen out of favor with Pep Guardiola over at Manchester City. So I would actually prioritize trying to get Jack Grealish from Manchester City if Manchester City are willing to do business with us, if they view us as a contender or a rival for top four. But if the price is right, why not just go for Jack Grealish, because we know that he is Premier League proven.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Everyone in the chat, what do you think about Chang's suggestion to get Grealish from City? He did go for 100 million, and he is earning quite a bit of money there. Um, but let's see. And then Trading Card Game Hub is saying, "Hello, you two beautiful people. Random one. That's not football, but I bought a full case of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ferrotins. My God, I am so jealous right now. Trading Card Game Hub living up to his name. Um, uh, Everyone, what are like anime card games that you really really like, or like anime games in general that you really really like? Did y'all play Yu-Gi-Oh as a kids, or Pokemon? uh what is it that floats your boat? uh Coming back to the football, I do have to say that there are 31 people watching, 25 of them on YouTube. If you're watching us from Twitter, or X as it's called now, please do make sure that you leave a comment in the chat so we know that you're watching and who's watching. Um, uh, Jack for 35 million for you would be a great purchase. Yeah, he really would be. It He would be. He'd be an amazing purchase, and I think that he'd do really well under Ange, because I feel like Ange is the kind of manager who's really good at motivating these players who have individual ability. Who sort of take the game by the reins, and I feel like he's somebody who could be like a marquee signing for us as well. He's underappreciated at his club. He has oodles of talent. He knows how to get past a player. There's a lot that he could offer us. He also has, I think, in my opinion, the right attitude, in the sense that he's a match winner. He's the kind of person who'll take the game by the scruff of its neck and like lead us, kicking and screaming over the line. And we need a few more players like that. I reckon him and Matters together could become that duo that does that. He's also English, so that's another point in his favor, but it might make him more expensive as well. So let's see where we land on that. But Jack Grealish would be amazing. If you could get Jack Grealish at Spurs, I think it'd be an amazing buy. Perfectly like awesome piece of business. Um, so business kind of makes me want to move on to this last little bit that I wanted to sort of discuss with you, Chang, which is the summer preseason. And the reason I want to discuss the preseason is, we're hearing a lot about that we'll be playing Bayern Munich, and that Harry Kane will be coming back to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. How do you feel about that? You just think it's a PR gimmick? You think it'll be a fun thing? It'll be a nice way to say bye? How do you see that?
For me, on a very personal note, when it comes to Harry Kane returning to N17 and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, uh, this would be his farewell. You could almost say that it's his testimonial. It feels like a testimonial for him with his new club, Bayern Munich, going against his former teammates, or rather the majority of the current Spurs team being his former teammates from many, many, many years before this, and all the wonderful memories that it's given us throughout the years. I feel that this is the proper send off that he so richly deserves for all that he's done for the club, the goals that he scored, his contributions on and off the pitch. I think this is one that is certainly going to sell out. This is going to be a sellout friendly. But make no mistake about it as well. I believe the Spurs players are not going to treat this as a friendly. They are really going to use this as an opportunity to get one back over Bayern Munich for even stealing Harry Kane from us mere days. I believe it was 2 or 3 days before the start of the last of this season. So this is one way to get back at Bayern Munich. And yeah, what can I say? Harry Kane, what a player. This is a much awaited return for him at N17. But I also have to quickly point out, I know this is nothing related to this Bayern Munich friendly. I'm sure we've all heard the news now that Bayern Munich are supposed to be playing Arsenal home and away in their next round of the Champions League. So Harry Kane will have had an opportunity to return to London a lot sooner for that their away game at the Emirates, and I really hope he does the footballing world a great favor
Yeah, come on, come
scoring
on, Harry.
by just scoring as much and contributing as much as possible
Yeah,
for
prove
Bayern
that you're
Munich.
one of our
We are
own.
somehow or other this talk of the preseason friendly has turned into a has somehow spiraled into
Yeah.
this
Who who gives
cheering.
a crap about coefficient? Arsenal should always lose. And we do have Dragon D's nuts saying Grealish, yes, marquee signing. Dragon D's nuts. For as long as I've been a Spurs fan, marquee signings like Mbappe are not in my vocabulary or dictionary. So for me, somebody who plays for City and who's like 80, 90 million, like Ben's pointing out, Grealish would be, that's a marquee signing. Unfortunately, that's how far down my standards as a Spurs fan are. Do it with that what you will. I do believe he's a good player as well. I think he could become a marquee signing. And let's not forget, Virgil van Dijk used to play for Southampton. And
Yep,
by that
yep.
logic, he would not be considered a marquee signing. But because Liverpool went on to win the league that year, uh, uh, Van Dijk and Allison were seen as the marquee signing that
Mm,
got them over
mm,
the line. So
yep,
I really do believe that it's not about where a person comes from and how they're playing. It's about what they bring to the team and how much they'll improve our team. And by that logic, yes, I do believe Grealish would be a marquee signing. And Rob saying if Levy hadn't been so Levy, Grealish would have been a Spurs player already. Yeah, well, them's the breaks. You have to deal with it if you support this team. And yeah, Ben, it's the Visit Malta Club, but it's happening at Spurs Stadium. I have no clue how that works, but everyone, hey, Malta's a great place that you're not going to. And then I don't know how to read this name, but I'm going to imagine it's Clock Ilk. Um, but saying, What's up to you? Who I'm now referring to as Clock Ilk person. And then Leo's laughing at Ben, and then Ben saying this will be the last time ever you will see Harry Kane play at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium unless he moves to Chelsea because he's never coming back to Tottenham. Yeah, I actually agree with this, Ben. the way we let him go with, like not letting him clear his locker, and like the pettiness of it all, it makes me think that he's never coming back. I also feel like he'd never trust Levy with another contract. So I don't think he'd ever sign for us, just because the lack of trust that's there now between the management, unless of course management changes. If Spurs gets bought out by some other billionaire who's like, bring Harry Kane back, maybe it might happen. But I think that as long as Daniel Levy is running things around here, I don't see Harry Kane returning to Spurs. And perhaps for the best, it's time we move on and we move on up, upwards and onwards. Hopefully that's the case for him and for us. I hope that he goes on to win many trophies as well, and he retires after having won everything in world football. I hope that that's the case, because he deserves it considering how good he is as a player. He's perhaps the best player that Spurs has ever produced, at least in my opinion. There are, of course, other contenders for that role, but the academy, I do believe that he's perhaps the best player the Spurs academy has ever produced. Um, so yeah, that kind of resolves this preseason game. Another preseason thing that I wanted to talk to you about, Chang, is that we're playing a lot of these PR games, against Bayern, and then we're going to Australia, and there's a lot happening, right? Now there have been a lot of players out on loan who started doing well. Dane Scarlett scored a hat trick. Then like this. Rodon, who's been doing well. I thought he was good in the Wales game as well. Um, he's playing well for Leeds as well. There are a bunch of these players. Do you think that with all of this PR nonsense, that we won't be able to get in a good preseason to see these players and to actually see what they're about? Or do you really think that they're just not good enough for Spurs anyway, so it doesn't matter?
Okay, I'm just going to try and be very neutral when it comes to assessing our fringe players, or should I say our players who are out on loan. There are some good players which I would definitely love to see given a chance at Spurs playing Ange ball on a big Ange. One of these players is a player we've just only signed this season from Blackburn Rovers, but he's not been able to get any minutes just yet. Being Ashley Phillips, I feel that Ashley Phillips has a future at Spurs, but until such time when he is fit and ready for playing amongst the big boys in our setup, I still feel he needs the minutes, as to say the likes of a Jamie Donnelly, an Elfie Dorrington, or an Elfie Divine, maybe even Alejo Velis, whom we all saw was able to get a goal away against Brighton in that 4-2 loss. But I feel that there's also a player there. So yeah, these players, they need game time. They need game time. They need experience. And if and when they are ready, I'm sure Big Ange will very much welcome back into the fold as fully fledged senior players. And there are also other players as well. You just mentioned Dane Scarlett, who scored a hat trick, a very commendable hat trick for the English youth national team. That's good to see as well. And we still have other players out on loan as well. If you think as far back as, say, Troy Parrott. Troy Parrott is also out on loan, and we have Lucas Bergvall, who we've already signed but has not committed yet to the senior squad. So maybe there's also a player to look out for. But yeah, those are the only names that I would ever consider bringing back to Spurs, because there are still a lot of other players, the likes of a what's his name now? Ndombele, or should I call him Ndombele, and Sergio Reguilon as well, Jeffert Tanganga, Jet Spence, even Joe Rodon as well. So there are still quite a few number players, a fair few number players who are out on
Yeah,
loan, but they don't seem to
exactly.
have future.
Uh,
Mm.
Gotta say hi, Luca. Hi, Luca. But I sort of kind of want to bring it back to what happened last season, which is this season. I mean, like the reason Ange played that second string team against Fulham is that he said, I haven't seen them enough. I needed to play them in order to see them. right? And part of the reason that happened is that we didn't really have a proper preseason. We had like a few games here and there, and it was a little disjointed, and most of it was a PR exercise. And I'm really afraid that this season preseason is going to continue that format, where it's all about PR exercise and nice pictures in Australia and all of that, but you're not really sort of sitting down and having that great sort of like uh, talk with how to play Ange ball, and throwing those young players or players on loan out onto the field together, and to see whether they click or not, who's playing well, who's playing badly, what works, what doesn't work. Like this, the time for experimentation is preseason. If we were just to sit, like sit at home and like figure this stuff out in one go, that would be amazing. But obviously that's not how preseason works. But I wouldn't mind wherever we are in the world, whether it's Australia, whether it's in England, whether it's I don't know, Africa, or South America, wherever it is that we go in the world. I hope that's what we're doing. That they're trying to progress as a team rather than just focusing on the PR exercise of it all. And I'm really worried that these players will all get lost in translation while we're trying to sort of promote Spurs abroad. And I wouldn't like to see another exit from the League Cup because we don't know what our second string team looks like. That would be ridiculous after 1 year in the job. So, so I really hope that we actually get a preseason that's made to act like a preseason, which is it's a practice a part of the season, where you see somebody in a game scenario. Um, yeah, so that's my little rant for the day. Um, um, I, 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 I gotta like sort of close it there since we don't really have that much to discuss because like the Luton game is not for a while now and all of that. So, Chang, where will we find you next? Where can we find you next?
So I am scheduled to do yet another pre-match preview of this coming weekend's fixtures over at Spurswation TV with Mr. Eugene. I believe he is set it up for 1 p.m. 1 p.m. UK time on Friday. That's in about 2 days time from now. So yeah, the next time I'm going to be appearing will be over at Persuasion TV, doing the preview for all the upcoming fixtures over the weekend. And apart from that, I hope we will be doing yet another watch along. Hopefully, Miss Ash, this time no drama. Hopefully, no, no more drama unfolding during our watch alongs. Our upcoming watch along for the Luton game. If you are up for it, and if Mr. Sivers and Senor Garcia are up for hosting it, I will definitely be there. I would love to see you there as well, Miss Ash, if you're free for that. And apart from those two, I believe maybe I'm also scheduled to appear on Monday. Monday at about 12:30 p.m. 12:30 p.m. noon on UK time with Kate and Jimbo, Mr. and Mrs. Moxel over at Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. I'll be appearing there as well. So yeah, these are the few upcoming shows that I have for myself.
Well, everyone, make sure you go to Spurswation TV as well, and to Kate, Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs, and Kat Chang there. Make sure you also check out Brewing Bullocks today. So on the coffee company, it'll be lots of fun. Apparently better than Monday's show, the one that I haven't seen. And I will see you next on Friday with Ellie, and then hopefully, if there's a watch along, then there's a watch along. So you will see me with my token beer and chips, as is the usual, because clearly I can't do this without alcohol. Um, so everyone, tune in for those things. I will see you soon. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs!
Yeah, as usual, we play you out with the James Madison song. That's if I can find it. There we go.
My team has got James Madison. James Madison is what we need. Whoa, thank God we got James Madison. This kid plays ball like you would never believe. Whoa.